I'm just Kapagi, aka Pops out of GMS Chicago, with a brief sit down. Before I get started, though, like always, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rikah Kodash. To the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York, the elder bishops out of Connecticut, I want to send double honors because they do rule well. For the brethren around the world, pushing this truth uncut, unfiltered, giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly, of the prophecies, and the interaction with the people on the planet. And I send a hearty shalom. For the hopeful elect, hope this is edifying. For the aquat, the few and the true that still listening sincerely, try to keep doing so. But for the scorn and scoff, reprobate, 2/3 Israelites, 17 other nations are in the midst of Jacob's trouble. This is absolutely going to get worse. Anyway, John 10:10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that I might have that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. You know, we get this title and this tag and all this other kind of stuff about black Hebrew Israelites and this, that, and the other. But we keep trying to tell you that, first of all, it isn't about a color thing. It's about a bloodline thing. And that we don't judge the spirit. We don't judge a person by his skin tone. We judge him by the spirit. And as the scripture says, basically paraphrasing, we judge the spirit by the spirit. So what these words say is what determines whether or not we even give you the consideration that you might be an Israelite or not. Okay, but the thief that will kill, steal, and destroy, that's what he's on. And that, for the majority of the part, is Esau Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man of the 1800s, because he wasn't calling himself white before that. Okay, he wasn't calling himself that white before that. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna go to this little clip. I'm gonna come back with some scriptures. Okay.
To sell his gold with no idea what it was really worth. At just 20 years old, he made the difficult decision to sell his gold necklaces to support his family. I don't know how much your value is. I know there's 14 karat. The young man had no idea what gold was really worth, and then he said this. He believed both necklaces were worth just $150 total, but the honest owner refused to take advantage and paid him what he truly deserved. About 15. 15? Just for that? Are you serious? Yeah, you got it. No way. What do you think about the owner? This boy walked into a pub.
Okay, what I think about that is that's not a normal Edomite trait. That's what I think. I think that, like I said, even though these people all here look like they might be Esau, the boy wearing a hat, a skull cap, and t-shirt weather tells me one thing. Okay, you know, like people like to say, like that thing with Eminem. We don't believe that Eminem is a Edomite. He done went back and did too much work among his boys and whatnot that he grew up with for that to be the case. He tried to put them all on and this, that, and other, and all these type of things. And that's something that Esau's not known for. And the reason I say that's because of this scripture here. Let me get this scripture. See if I can get it to come up. Sirach, Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. This man wasn't trying to get over. He didn't try to get over on the young man. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. They didn't run no malice at that. That could be a father and son shop. Okay. You saw the guy with the hat, had a full beard, the whole deal. So you could get the benefit of the doubt just because of the fact that, let me see, unction. Let me see that scripture. Hope this is right. Unction. Probably not, though. Yeah, okay, got it. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. So unction, it's kind of like you go to do something wrong and you know it's wrong, and your conscience convicts you that you know it's wrong. Esau, for the most part, doesn't have that. He would have never been able to set up the IMF or the U.S. Federal Reserve if those Rothschilds, those Oppenheimers, those Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Rockefellers, they'd have never been able to really set that up, especially the top elite, the Amalekites and the Rothschilds in particular. They want to give me a commercial in the midst of this. Oh my goodness, they're trying to give me a commercial. They're trying to give me a commercial in the middle of this, man. Y'all believe this? Y'all believe this? Look at this. Look at this commercial. No. Okay. But ye have an unction. Okay, I'm over here in Genesis 25:25 because you see, this is the story of Esau. Like I said, I've got it on the screen so you'll be able to go back and read it if you really want to. But the first came out red like a hairy garment. Basically, his skin is red. Now you see the heat waves and the color of these people's skin when it's exposed to the sun the way it is. So if that doesn't qualify as being red, then this, that, now I don't know what it's going to take for you to get that understanding. But it says here, down here, I'm starting 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of length, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Now, let's get something understood. Let's go up to 22. Okay. Let's go to 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people. Two entirely different mindsets, the way they go, the way they interact with people and everything else is too different. Manner of people shall be separated by bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other. So the younger came out stronger, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when their days were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So it says the elder shall serve the younger. Okay? We had that a little bit under King David, but the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven, that they got to do 1,000 years hardcore slavery, with Esau being in the midst of that, hasn't occurred yet. We're waiting on that. That's what's coming. So this Edomite is who he is, and he does what he does. Okay? So now we said, like I said, they have an unction to know all things, right? Peep this. Let me go here and find this. See, this man didn't do this to that young man. This is what he didn't do. Usury. Let's see what it says. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, which is eats, usury of thing that is lent upon usury. So you're not supposed to do that. Verse 22 is actually, it starts off as an order itself. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. So, if thou lend money to any of my people, so in Deuteronomy it says that we wouldn't be the head, we would be the tail, and we would have to go to this man for one of all things. But when we go, if he gave us a loan, he wasn't supposed to put usury. He wasn't supposed to put taxes, not interest on it. And this man, have you known any Edomite, or have you known any institution anywhere in the world that doesn't, if they loan you money, charge you interest? But the whole world is following Esau's lead. The Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, and the Gettys again. Okay. Let me go down here. Where is this? Psalm. Okay, so now this is what this man didn't do. This is how he actually acted out. It says Psalms 15:5. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent, he that doeth these things shall never be moved. You're in a good spot. So that's why we said, when Elder Malcolm would be saying what he's saying, some of these people go come back looking like them when it's time to get beamed up. Just because they look like them don't make them them, because their bloodline has absolutely got to go back to an Israelite. So it's not about the so-called black Hebrew Israelite. It's about the bloodline and the tabernacle of David that's being built up now. And see, from the men of the GMS, when we see things, we always, as they say, this becomes frontlets. These scriptures are our frontlets. And those frontlets give us the ability to see past the obvious into the spirit of what's what. Let's see if this is going to show up like this. Did I spell it right? It's the question. Exodus 13:16, and it shall be for a token upon thy hand and for a frontlets between thy eyes. Let me show you what this is. Actually, let me go. Deuteronomy 11 and 18. Therefore, ye shall lay up my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. That means when you look at something, you should look at it and be able to see it through the scriptures to see what's what. That's how you go be able to distinguish and get an understanding as to what's actually going on and not be caught up on BS. So I'm done with that. I hope that this is an edifying lesson to get you to understand that, like I said, they want to label us as black Hebrew Israelites and whatnot, and I've done videos on this, that, and other where a total Edomite appearing female daddy showed up as a so-called Negro or whatever. So that goes out the window, and it still goes out the window. And you can see little things like this in the process and say that action doesn't lend itself to the skin tone of a Edomite. It lends its tone to that of Jake, because having an unction means he was convicted and he didn't want to take advantage. Now, whether or not they was all Edomites and he was called himself trying to look out for them, I don't know. But at face value, that's what I can see. So with that, send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Kakodash, apostles and elders out of New York, and elder bishops out of Connecticut, double honors, they rule well. A hearty shalom for the hopeful elect, and a barber ball to the rest of the world.